Good morning, and welcome back to Cooking at the Quill here at the beautiful town of Manchester, New Hampshire. And we are here with famous cookbook author Hilary Davis. She wrote the books Cuisine Niçoise and French Comfort Food. I hope you have read them, they're excellent books.
Thank you, Chef.
My name is Stefan Ryll, and I'm your chef here again. And today we're going to be making a classical French dish, which is a bouillabaisse. Our ingredients we have for this one, we have some nice fresh sliced seasonal vegetables, and we're gonna also use afterwards seasonal fish. In our case, we're gonna use lobster, monkfish, and some nice tuna. Let's get started with sauteing. First thing, we're gonna start off and heat up our pan. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil.
Extra virgin, Chef?
Just normal olive oil.
Normal?
Because the extra virgin usually is the first press of the olive oil, and it usually is strong and has a very green flavor too.
Yeah.
So sometimes you will have your food will get a little bit too much of the green color, and you make a nice little vinaigrette, and then always as you have a green vinaigrette.
Or
so
mayonnaise.
Or mayonnaise, that would be interesting. But if you mix your eggs together, and then you have a green mayonnaise, all right. There's a dish with green eggs too. I'm not sure where they call it. Somewhere in Russia they make that. So we're going to use for our vegetables, we have julienne of leek, fennel, and also some nice onions. And we're going to start off with adding a little bit of the onions and the garlic into the pan. And always make sure the oil is nice and hot, so when you drop it in, we hear that nice little sizzling noise. That's what we like to hear.
Is it the classic bouillabaisse?
Yes, it is. From Marseille. It's a classic from Marseille. And we're going to add our garlic. And we're going to add a little bit of the fennel.
Marseille in the south of France.
Marseille in the south of
Right on
France.
the water. So
And originally, it started when the fishermen came home, and they kind of like would use the fish scraps. Whatever they had left, they couldn't sell off the market. They were worried about what they're going to do with it. So they would start using some vegetables in the fish and make a nice little fish stew and cook themselves a nice little dinner or lunch. Okay. We're going to stir it a little bit around. Okay.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to add a little bit Pernod to flambe it.
You put the Pernod in now?
Yes, just to get a little flambe for makes it look good on TV. Anybody ready? Okay.
Pernod has an anise flavor. Like
That is
the
correct,
fennel.
like the fennel. So they go very well together in this thing. Okay. Then we're going to add a little bit of our orange zest.
Oh, nice.
We're going to add a little bit of fresh thyme. And our lobster stock. So we're going to deglaze it.
Lobster stock?
Lobster
You
stock.
took the shells and you cooked it down with water?
We took the shell, the whole lobster, and then cooked them down for about 20 to 25 minutes with fish stock. You don't want to go too long because then it becomes bitter. And the last thing we want to add is our tomato product, which we have diced tomatoes. And we're going to stir this up for a moment.
Oh, it smells so good.
I
can
wish you
smell
guys
the
could smell
lobster. It smells great. I can smell the orange.
Yep.
That's
We're going to add
right.
a little bit more lobster stock. And one of the major ingredients for bouillabaisse is saffron, because you get a nice little reddish color with it. So we're going to add some saffron into it.
If you don't have it, you can't find it at the store, is it okay to leave it out?
You could leave it out, that's correct.
Yeah.
Maybe you could
Sometimes
use a
it's
little
hard to
red
find.
pepper color or anything like in that direction. And
It's beautiful color.
where does saffron come from? Anybody know? This the lotus. That's why saffron is a very expensive spice from the lotus flower, and you pick it. It's kind of little like your blossoms you pick out. That's why saffron, when you buy it, usually don't get scared. It's pretty expensive. Like a little bit like this could cost you a couple of dollars. But if you use the saffron frets, it's actually kind of okay with the price.
I mean, how little can you use? Is it like
Just a very little. You need about 8 or 10
need a
saffron
lot.
frets, so not very much to put it in. And now we're going to let this sit for a while and let this simmer, get all the flavors into it from the vegetables, from the Pernod, from the lobster stock, for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, while our stew is simmering, we're going to do a little taste.
Okay.
Hillary, would you like to go first? Got a nice consistency. Still needs to root down a little bit. Delicious.
Lobster, orange, Pernod,
Saffron.
Oh my
Can't go
God.
wrong with this. Okay, so while this is
great.
simmering, you can taste all the flavors. The lobster comes into it, the Pernod, and saffron goes nicely into
Orange.
it. Right? And you want
Right
it
on the
slowly
top.
simmer, so you don't want to go too high. Just so it slowly reduces down to kind of like a semi-thick
You
consistency.
can't lose. I mean, doing it, simmering it long.
No,
'Cause
not
it
really.
seems to
The longer it
deepen,
simmers,
you've
the
been
better
doing
it gets. Like with
yeah.
a nice stew, that's how you get your flavor into it.
Right.
The next step, while this is simmering, we're gonna prepare our garlic bread that we're gonna dip later on into the beautiful sauce. So, we're gonna have here a nice piece of French bread. We're gonna slice it in an angle, right about here, and about an inch thick. I'm gonna make about 2, maybe 3 slices. How many you have for your company, how many guests. And then I'll do a little trick. So all I do is cut the little bottoms off.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. So when you put it later on and it's nice and crisp, it will stand up in your plate and give some nice height. Very simple trick. And you can still have the little pieces for snacks for your friends while you're cooking. You always want to keep them happy. Or the film crew, they like to eat too. So we have here some beautiful olive oil, and this time we use
The green.
the green, the extra
strong
virgin.
one,
Yes,
yeah.
the extra virgin olive oil. You're gonna brush your bread a little bit with the oil. Want to make sure it soaks nicely in. And then we're gonna add a little bit, if you like garlic, there's 2 different ways you can add your garlic. Either you gotta take it, a fresh clove, and you just rub it on it a little bit. So you get light flavor. Okay. If you like a garlic fan and you like a lot, you're just gonna take your minced garlic and you spread a little bit right onto the bread.
I like that.
I
one.
like that better too. See, we're garlic fans.
Yeah.
Just make sure if you do this, everybody has to eat it. Otherwise, it's not fair, okay? If there's garlic involved in the dish, golden rule, everybody has to bite into it because it's not fair
Absolutely.
if only one person eats and the other next smells like garlic. And we're gonna add a little bit salt and pepper.
Is that why people sometimes put parsley on?
Yes,
Does
for
it
color.
combat the, well, for the garlic flavor?
The flavor, it takes it away too, that's right, the parsley as well. A little bit of pepper. And I do a little bit of fresh herbs. And in case our little parsley, chop it on, gives a nice flavor. And like Hillary just said, it takes a little bit from the strong garlic flavors away as well. We're gonna
Great
take these,
combination, too.
now we're gonna take these breads, and we're gonna pop them in your preheated oven on 350 for about, depends how your oven works, 10 to 15 minutes. You want them nice golden brown and crisp, so they go delicious when you dip them into your stew. And I gotta put them into the oven now. 350, about 10 to 12 minutes. Now our stew has finally nicely simmered for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you can see how it thickened up a little bit. You have the nice beautiful colors, all the juices from your vegetables growed into it. And the final touch that you want to add usually towards the end is we're going to add a bit of fresh chopped parsley. And you usually want to add it in the end so it stays nice and green. If it's too long in there, it will turn brown. So now our final touch, we add a little bit of the herbs into our stew.
It's more of a stew than a soup, isn't
Yep.
it? It's nice
A little
and
bit more thick.
substantial. I didn't
Okay.
know that.
And now we're going to finish up our dish. In our case, you can use for this dish, because it's from Marseille, from France originally, and you can use any kind of fish you like. We're going to use tuna, we're going to use monkfish, and we're going to use lobster today. But at home, you could use haddock, you can use shrimp, any kind of fish you like, you put into it. It's totally
Any whitefish.
any whitefish, yeah, that's firm, they hold up. In our case, we use the monkfish, which is a little bit more tougher, so I braise them ahead of time.
How did you braise it, Chef?
We braise it with
Because they're quite round, big pieces.
Yep, we're gonna, monkfish is the bottom feeder, is a bit more tougher fish. You sear them off in a bit of oil,
Yeah.
like I do with the tuna right now. And then I will
In
add
the
a bit,
oven?
yeah, no, on the saute, on the braising pot.
Yeah.
And then you will add the white wine and a little bit of fish stock as well. Everybody watch out, sizzling. Oh, there we have our sizzling noise, we want it. And the tuna you want to do very quick, because tuna I don't like to be too well done. So I'm gonna do it just slightly seared on both sides. We're gonna add our monkfish.
Do you move it or not?
One time, yes.
One time.
Just so it doesn't stick. Very little. And also our lobster. We're gonna flip it over one time. You don't need to saute it too much. You just want a slight caramelization on it. We're going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going to add our stew. Make sure your fish is nicely covered. And all we're going to do is simmer it for about a minute or two to make sure the flavors from your fish stock on your stew soak into the fish that you're going to serve. Now that our beautiful bouillabaisse is finished, we got it nicely simmering here with our stew. And we're going to plate it up in a nice little bowl. We have also our garlic bread on the side. And another dish that we usually rake with a nice little addition to it is the sauce Ryll. It's pretty much like a roasted red pepper aioli. And we add a little spice. In our case, we use with adobo peppers.
Aioli is like a
little.
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, right. It's an
Base,
mayonnaise
right?
base.
And then you add in the
We
garlic.
add in the garlic, the saffron, whatever you like. A
Makes
little
it
bit more
spicy.
seasons. You can make it more spicy, you can make it more lighter, whichever way you really prefer. I think that's the way to go.
Spicy.
We make it spicy in our case because the stew has kind of like a sweeter taste from the saffron and from the orange zest.
Yeah.
So if we put the little spicy, it gives a nice little contrast, a nice little kick to it. So, we have our stew finished. We're gonna plate it up. You want to put a little bit on the sauce on the bottom first. Oh, we got good colors, don't we, huh?
Yeah.
Little orange, little
Oh.
red, little green. And again, I add some nice little green herbs in the end. Always add your herbs in the end, key thing, because if you put them in too long, they're gonna turn brown and it's not gonna look very beautiful anymore. Now, we're gonna build in our fish, the tuna. We're gonna use the monkfish. And what I like when you build dish and you plate dishes, you always wanna try to shoot for a little bit of height. It's the most important thing. Height looks good, and you can charge more too if you make it look good. You know? That's the main thing. We all wanna make money. We're in the restaurant business.
That's true.
So I'll lay the lobster tail on top.
That's beautiful.
Highlight your items. You know, you don't want to cover them up with the sauce. You go a little bit around it. You want to show the nice pieces. You put all that work into it. So you want to make sure that it's nicely presented. We have here our nice, colorful and tasty garlic bread. We're going to dip it in our Ryll sauce and send it a little bit on the side.
Wow.
Flavor here. And we're going to use the herbs that we used in there for flavoring, also for garnish. So we'll give it a little height. And now we're getting really high, aren't we? But that's okay.
They could serve this in Marseille.
That's
This is
right.
So perfect.
We're going to give these Frenchmen a run for their money.
Yeah.
Stand it up. And also I like chervil. Chervil gives a nice little flavor, nice little consistency, delicate, and gives a nice little look to the plate as well. Voila, and there you have it. Bouillabaisse. Great flavor, great
Bravo,
taste.
chef.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed. I love it. Can we taste it?
Sure, we can taste it. You want to try?
Oh, I'd love to. Oh my God.
Delicious.
Really good.
Good.
Oh my God.
Nice flavors. Saffron, the
Wow,
orange
what a
zest.
treat.
Really great.
Well, let's toast to that.
Let's toast to that.
Job
What
well
kind
done.
of wine would you recommend?
Oh, a rosé. Like
Rosé?
chilled rosé they'd have in Marseille. So.
Nice light one?
But we have this.
That? Santé.
Santé.
And we're gonna go eat all the lobster out back, and we'll see you next time at the Quill.
See you
Have a
next
great day.
time.